Today we are going to be reacting to this video by Reisshub, the frustrating downfall of ranked Fortnite. Now, this is a massive channel within the Fortnite community, and I personally never come across it. I was looking for some content to maybe react to, wanted to pump up something quick for today, so I found this video, and this channel's doing super well, has some very interesting content. So I think I'm just out of the loop, but hey, we might get a new subscriber in me today. We are going to be reacting to this video. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Let's talk about the downfall, the frustrating downfall of ranked Fortnite.
Fortnite's Battle Royale playlists have consistently hit all-time low numbers in 2025, and at face value, it doesn't really look that bad. There have been multiple times in the past year where player counts have been similar.
And it's important to note, like we talk a lot about on this channel, player counts being down is still a number of players that any other game would absolutely kill to have. It's not like Fortnite's going through a lack of success.
When you start to look at the ranked Battle Royale playlist, this is when it starts to become a real obvious issue. The April and May 2025 numbers are around half of the previous low.
Now, here's the problem with this too. This video was made a month ago, and it might be the wrong time to be making this video, reacting to this video, because everybody seems very happy with everything that's going on in Fortnite right now. But again, we're going to be talking about ranked Fortnite, so there might be still an interesting topic at hand.
The trend seeming to continue downwards. So what went wrong? When Epic Games announced ranked Battle Royale in May of 2023, the Fortnite community was actually incredibly excited, especially this guy.
Okay, I can already see, like, this video is already well produced, man. I really like these videos.
Jesus. Now, if I was to ask you what you think the main experience you want in a ranked mode would actually be,
it's definitely
your
that.
answer would be something like this. You probably would want a skillful and rewarding loot pool, because if you're going to commit 20 to 25 minutes of your life to a match, you'd probably want the deaths to feel not that cheap and unavoidable.
And I've always agreed with this, guys. I'm somebody who really likes casual Fortnite, and I'm somebody who really likes the competitive aspect of the game as well. I like, and sometimes I receive a little bit of pushback when I say this, and I mean this with absolutely no disrespect, when I call ranked a boring loot pool. Like, I'm talking about like your classic AR, sniper, shotgun. I mean boring in comparison to what Pubs has, but it's still very fun. I love the competitive game, and there needs to be a just strictly nice balanced game when it comes to ranked.
I think it's fair to say that you want to die skillfully in a ranked mode. You probably want good match pacing. So if you're 5 minutes into the game and there's only 20 people left, that means that the rest of the match might be pretty slow and boring. Now, tournament matches are slow, but there's a large payoff at the end where the end game is really good. And there's a lot of tension because dying means that you're going to lose points.
Yeah, and I found that as well. Like, if you have a really solid end game in ranked, then I don't really care about the beginning of the game, because you spend a lot of time preparing for it, seeing where the zone's going, things like that. Maybe picking fights, but mostly avoiding fights. That's my experience with it, because I'm obviously not like a pro player or anything.
If you're in a ranked game where you're doing nothing for 15 minutes and then there's no end game, that's not the most exciting match to play. You'd probably also want reasonable matchmaking. I imagine that you'd probably be more willing to commit more time searching for a match if that match is actually going to be a good match. There are often 10 minutes between each game for scrims. I'm sure that's a little boring, but people do it because they know that the scrim match they're going to get into is a high quality game.
Yeah, and I would imagine that a lot of people, and ignoring the people with TikTok brain, which is a ton of people nowadays, this is something that I've also talked about when it came to toggling bots and skill-based matchmaking. And I know that we're starting to have modes within Fortnite, depending on when you're watching this video, without bots and skill-based matchmaking. If the game was worth it, I'd be happy to wait as long as it takes to get into one.
With ranked Battle Royale, if you wait 10 minutes for a game, you're going to get into a pretty low quality match. So if you're playing against players of a similar skill level, with weapons you like, with well-paced action, then I'm sure you'd be happy to wait a little bit longer for the match. But if the match isn't going to be great quality, I'm sure you'd want matchmaking to be a little bit faster. And finally, you probably want a progression system that actually makes people try. If people care about ranking up and not ranking down, they're much more likely to try harder in the match.
Oh, but I don't want people to try harder. I want everybody to sit down and let me win.
And if they're trying harder, the games become higher quality because there's actually a risk of dying. Unfortunately, Fortnite's ranked mode misses the mark on quite literally all four of these.
Yeah, unfortunately for the most part, I would have to agree with the loot pool, but every once in a while we have a season with a really solid loot pool. Like, for example, there are a lot of things that I do like about the ranked loot pool for this season, and if you happen to be watching this video later, in later seasons, I'm recording this video in Chapter 6, Season 3, but the pacing, matchmaking, and progression, I haven't had a ton of pacing, or excuse me, I haven't had a ton of experience with the matchmaking for it, but everything that he mentioned was really spot on. The pacing and progression, yeah, that definitely needs work in my opinion.
Now, if you played creative, you probably noticed your paying.
Oh, we're at a sponsor part of the video.
Oh, sponsoring this video. As I was saying, Fortnite's ranked mode Yeah, it's missing a lot. Using the current Star Wars season as an example, the loot pool for ranked is actually pretty fun to
Now, here's the thing. That's why I was a little bit... I'm going to... There's still an interesting topic at hand anyways, but the game is so infinitely better than it was in Galactic Battle. But we're bound to have more seasons just like Galactic Battle, so I think that this conversation is still worth having. And I actually really liked the loot pool of Galactic Battle. I really, really liked it. For competitive, I would take out the Force Mythics, and I would take out the vehicles.
With. But the TIE Fighters and X-Wings basically just kill you instantly, which can be pretty frustrating. You can spend 5 minutes queuing into the game, 5 minutes off spawn, and then die to a vehicle with 1,250 HP.
Yeah, and if you're following the channel, you might think that this is something that I like, which is something that I do like, but if I'm strictly playing a competitive match, no, I wouldn't really care, to be honest with you, because I don't play for money or anything like that, but people do. People look to get better. People look to constantly improve in this craft and, you know, want to get into worlds and place and improve their placements. They shouldn't be dying to things like TIE Fighters. It's not fair to them.
I don't know about you, but I don't really think that's that rewarding in a competitive mode, and there's a reason that things like these TIE Fighters and other vehicles are taken out of actual tournaments. The matchmaking times are usually pretty reasonable if you're in a major region and play duos, but outside of that, the queue times can be extremely long.
Yeah, so I did hear about that, and I'm not in a high enough rank to where I have the issue like that.
It's just really difficult to fill a lobby of 100 people of a similar skill level. This is a much bigger issue in smaller regions where the player bases are just smaller, so finding a game without having to wait 20 minutes can be difficult at any time of the day, and then the game you find isn't exactly going to be a banger.
Yeah, and I don't, to be honest with you, I don't really know how to fix that, to be honest. I know, like, the entire system of ranked could use a rework, but I don't exactly know what that rework would be. I could have ideas for, like, loot pool and pacing and things like that, but for matchmaking, I'm not sure.
Of these matches is pretty strange too. Most players land at major POIs or hot drop, meaning if you don't land at one of these spots, you're probably going to have no action in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. Then, because there's so much movement with the vehicles, fights become this huge mess with a lot of players third-partying, which can obviously be a little bit frustrating. And then there's no big payoff in the end game because it doesn't have a lot of moving zones like high-level tournament matches do. But the biggest issue is really just with the ranked and progression system itself.
So, before we get into that, why wouldn't they just make it like it is in scrims? Why? That I don't get. There's so many little things that Epic Games does here and there, and then I find myself thinking, like, okay, we don't know better than Epic Games because they're the people who run Fortnite. They have information that we don't have access to, but there's little things like that that make me go, like, but what could it possibly be? Because it seems like the right thing to do, and it seems so simple.
Ranks go from bronze to unreal, and the reward for playing ranks just doesn't really exist. Now, for casual players and competitive players, you can unlock some cosmetics for every single rank that you go up, which is cool and a great addition that was added relatively recently. However, once you hit the Unreal rank or the Emperor rank in this current Star Wars season, there's not really much to play for. And that's specifically because you cannot D-rank out of this rank.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's the I didn't even know that, actually. But I mean, if you're making it that high, then I guess that's interesting. But I've always thought, like, having... Oh, get ready, guys. I'm ready for your comments down below because this word is going to upset some people. But I always thought it'd be cool to have some, perhaps, exclusive cosmetics for the people who are getting to the best of the best in ranked. Why not? I think that's cool, man. I don't care about, like, anybody going, but it's not fair. It's not fair that somebody gets that skin and I don't. I don't care. I think it's a cool thing. It would incentivize people to rank up.
It means there's no real incentive to play ranked. The result of this is that every single ranked battle royale game isn't really about winning, it just becomes about hot dropping and fighting. And once you hit this top rank, you're put into a global leaderboard where you now have a number associated with you, which does seem like a cool way to get high-level players to grind this as they'll try to fight for the #1 rank on the leaderboard. But take a look at the leaderboard. At the time of recording, I was ranked 2061st. So how far away am I from #1? I mean, I can say I'm 2,060 places away, but how far is that? None of these things are really in any way clear whatsoever.
Oh, I see it. Because I've never actually looked at something. I didn't even know there was a leaderboard for it. I had no idea, dude. I actually, like, on paper, that's a really cool thing, but if there's no way to figure out how you're going to be able to get to the #1 spot, that's an issue. You need something to work with. You need something to grind for. You need something to improve on. You need incentive to get to #1.
The truth, since there's not really a visible rating or elo system associated with that rank. And even if there was, I still wouldn't know how many elims, what kind of placement I would need to actually progress, or what I would need to do to not go down the rank as well. And even if I wanted to grind it, this leaderboard is not shown in game. It's only on the Epic Games website itself.
Oh, that's why I've never even seen it. I never visit Epic Games website. But that's, again, it's a really cool concept on paper because I found that interesting right when he said it. I had no idea that was even a thing. No idea. Obviously, that needs a little bit of tweaking, though.
Most people aren't even going to know this exists or even care about it.
There you
and
go.
The thing is, this uncertainty isn't just a problem at the highest rank as well. It's unclear exactly what you need to do to rank up in the lower ranks as well. Do you fight? Do you try to play placement and win the game? And you can kind of figure this out by looking at the post-game lobby, seeing how many elims and placement you got and the bonuses and all of this kind of stuff, but it's just not clear. What do I need to do to rank up? And what do I need to do to not rank down?
I always wonder if it's like it's a bad bot or if it's Epic Games actually just choosing some bigger names within the pro community. The problem is I'm not familiar with a bunch of people in the pro community, so I don't know what they're doing.
Imagine Unreal was just the top 500 players. There was a risk to dropping out of Unreal to be ranked down below. And of course, if you want to climb up the leaderboards, you actually have to play it well.
That's actually a way better that's a way better system than just ranking up. I love that.
Currently, there's also only one rank, just Battle Royale.
And can I say, dude, I see why this channel is so successful, man. I really enjoying the way that this video is presented. There's a ton of work obviously put into this. Definitely gonna be watching some more content.
But if each team mode had its own rank, there would also be a reason to play these other modes, meaning lobbies would actually fill since there are people grinding for the #1 slot that aren't just going to play it in duos.
Yeah, that's a good incentive compared to what we have right now.
Just going to play it in solos. But without this, it's honestly just a rather lackluster ranked experience. Ranked Battle Royale is just another playlist where you just go to fight other players, but it's arguably the least enjoyable playlist for this. All of this pushes good players away from Ranked Battle Royale, and where are they going to go? Well, if they want to practice a tournament-style match, they're going to play custom game scrims, and if they're going to practice fighting, they'll probably go into UAFN, or of course, Reload.
Yeah, I was about to say that I oftentimes go to Reload. If I want a competitive game, which oftentimes I do, but the thing is, Reload has so many really fun items, but the combat in Reload is like nothing else. I rarely play ranked Fortnite. I only really play ranked when we stream on Tuesdays, and Dagwami, Clark, Clinton, Loot Station, Jojo, whoever we're playing with, wants to play ranked. Other than that, I won't really play ranked. I'll play Fortnite Reload, and I'll play a bunch of UEFN maps and Zone Wars. I'll get a ton of combat that way. Same with box fights.
And the numbers here don't lie. Initially, ranked was slowly gaining popularity, going from 20% of the population to up to 30%. But then a huge percentage of players stopped being interested in this playlist.
I've heard competitive Fortnite in general, though I'm talking about the viewership base, but it's something that I keep meaning to pay a little bit more attention to. I've heard that it's doing way better than usual, but that could be the season change, I'm not sure.
This massive dip down to 9.81% was due to the wrecked season, which was basically the worst competitive season of all
Shocker.
time, and I'm not really surprised the player numbers dropped so much. But with the release of Reload Ranked in September of 2024, the percentage of players playing a ranked mode jumped to 36.63%.
There we go, dude. Reload was one of the greatest things that have been ever added to Fortnite, man. I've been so happy playing this game since Reload got added. And now we actually have modes without bots and skill-based matchmaking. That's crazy.
It went even higher the month after that. So on average, for those 2 months, 1 out of every 3 players would be playing a ranked playlist at any time, which is kind of crazy given Fortnite is often seen as a very casual game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have never guessed that number.
This is unsurprising because so many of those problems that Battle Royale has, Reload fixes. Reload's Lootpool isn't exactly competitive, has a ton of mythics, exotics, rocket launchers, and shockwaves that break.
To be honest with you, I think it's competitive enough. Like, they never really add anything too broken. I think it's cool that every once in a while you can get a Foundations MK, but you're not going to see something like that in your average Reload game because the spawn rate for it's so small. If it was I don't even know if it's ranked, to be honest with you. If it's in ranked, I would be for removing all the mythics from ranked.
Every build. But most of the time, the insanely broken items that go into Battle Royale are not in Reload. TIE Fighters, X-Wings, and a lot of the annoying overpowered vehicles that competitive players didn't enjoy in the wrecked season are just not in Reload.
Yeah, there's nothing insanely busted about it, but they consistently change up the loot pool. They add a bunch of weapons that people love, like right here, the pump shotgun, the mammoth pistol, the heavy sniper, the one that feels good, not the heavy impact sniper rifle. It's just everything that they've added besides probably the brand new hunting rifle with the atrocious bullet drop. Every single loot pool update for ranked has been great.
And even though some of the stuff in the loot pool is overpowered, dying to it doesn't feel quite as bad. In Battle Royale, this kind of death would be 10 to 15 minutes of your life wasted, but in Reload, you just respawn 30 seconds later, so it kind of dampens the frustration of dying to something that's not that competitive. The respawn mechanic in Reload also naturally fixes the pacing issues that plague ranked Battle Royale.
Yes, I actually had this in my mind. I wasn't sure if we were going to be talking about Reload. It's the perfect solution to it. You don't have like any dead games in Reload. There is no time wasted in Fortnite Reload, and that's what I love about it. And then you still get that really, really rewarding end game scrim type thing once you get to the final zone.
You land a drop spot, and even if you're uncontested, you can be fighting players within 30 seconds because of the quick looting, the smaller map, the mobility, and then that fighting will continue to basically the end of the game. It's constant action, which for practicing fighting means you're going to get way more fights per hour than if you just played Battle Royale.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the ways to get better at Fortnite. I would say even like Reload in general, it might be better than just fighting in a UEFN lobby because of the respawn mechanic and the way you're working with a team as well.
Reload also has reasonable matchmaking. Since games only have 40 players instead of the usual 100 that a Battle Royale game has, this means that it's easier to fill a lobby with players close to your rank. And this is especially useful on these smaller regions where filling a ranked Battle Royale match is close to impossible at times. But where ranked reload fails is the exact same thing that Battle Royale fails at the most, which is actually the progression system.
And again, I agree with that because if you're looking for a game mode like Fortnite Reload, you're going to get the same experience in ranked and just regular, or do you call unranked reload pubs? Whatever. For regular Fortnite Reload and Fortnite Ranked Reload, it's the same kind of lobbies because even in Reload, there are minimal bots.
It's just the exact same as Battle Royale. So for all of the issues that exist there, they also exist in Ranked Reload. So with ranked Battle Royale numbers at all-time lows, is Reload killing the playlist? Well, as I already mentioned, Ranked Battle Royale has a lot of problems already, which over time has pushed people away. However, it's still one of the only ways to practice with the actual competitive weapons, which often aren't in Reload or in UEFN maps, and it's still one of the only ways to practice somewhat realistic in-game fighting with what feels like tournament servers and performance. But
yeah, I didn't even think about that too. The servers and performance would be a big game changer. That's a toughie. Again, I like the on-paper type thing of having like actually the best in the world, but we need a lot of clarity for that. I am very for just letting the people get that exclusive skin. I'll never be able to get it. Give the top whatever people and just have like all these different skin styles and make it actually a good skin. And then people like really sit down and grind for something like that.
the addition of the Reload Ranked playlist has definitely taken numbers away from Battle Royale. Since the release of Ranked, there's been an average of 23.2% of any player playing a Ranked playlist mode at a time. There are obvious ups for new chapters and OG seasons, and downs for Wrecked, but this
Look how low Fortnite Wrecked is right there.
is somewhat...
But that's another thing that I'm talking about. Like, I love the presentation of this video, man. Like, you're adding the Fortnite Ranked to the little bar here. It's like those little things, man. I just really appreciate that.
consistent. However, when you look at what ranked playlist these players are playing, that's when things shift massively. Since the release of Ranked Reload, there have been only 2 months where there has been less than 60% of the ranked population in Ranked Reload. This means that for out of every 5 players who are queuing into any ranked playlist, 3 of them are queuing into Reload.
And Ranked Reload is just way better in every aspect.
This playlist may have initially converted some casual players to Ranked, which was clear by the large ranked populations in the first 2 months of its release. But it would appear that over time, more ranked players are just choosing to play Reload over Battle Royale.
And I get that vibe when you're playing Fortnite Reload as well. It just feels like a really solid competitive game, and that's actually what's deterring some people from Fortnite Reload, because I hear that you play a game like Fortnite Reload and then everybody's complaining about the sweats, of course, but you can see a lot of people that clearly want to play Fortnite Ranked are finding themselves in Fortnite Reload.
Now, this isn't particularly...
And again, sorry to interrupt again, but I understand why, because the mode's great.
surprising because both offer relatively the similar experience in terms of practice. You're just going to be fighting players, and you're not really trying to grind to win the match. But one playlist is just more engaging at this than the other. As much as I love playing Reload, I really hope that Epic Games put a lot of effort into Ranked Battle Royale to make it a playlist that players are actually excited to play.
And dude, honestly guys, at the time recording this video, it is right before the live event of Chapter 6 Season 3, and the game and the effort that Epic Games has been putting in this entire season and right now has been absolutely phenomenal. So if they've been taking care of things like OG, the storyline, the game in general, updates, Blitz, I have no reason to not think that they'll end up taking care of Ranked as well. I would like to see them take care of Ranked as soon as possible, because the competitive players definitely deserve some love, because that's all they have to work with right now. But I have faith. And I really enjoyed that video, guys. And again, I've never heard about this channel before, Reisshub, and it's huge, so I've been out of the loop for this one. Definitely a new subscriber to me. Maybe we'll watch some more videos, but please go show them some support in the pinned comment description down below. And why don't you check out this other reaction video that we did right here? Would love to have you over there. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Take care, guys.